The best thing about owning an antique bike is being one with your machine, the mechanical aptitude it takes to keep them running. There's sequences, there's things you have to do to know how to start it, to ride it. The worst part about owning an old motorcycle is they leak and you have to make your own parts, but that's also kind of the best thing about it. That's the beauty and joy of having an old bike. They're oily, they're noisy, they're smoky sometimes, but boy, they really pick up and go. They're cool. My name is Brittney Olsen. I'm the founder of 20th Century Racing and the Spirit of Sturgis. Originally, I grew up in a small town called Worthing. And we're talking about a town of like 500 in South Dakota. And I came from a car background. I drag raced throughout high school competitively. Like I knew from a young age that I wanted to be a racer. And there was one person who ultimately changed the whole trajectory of my life, and that was Shirley Muldowney. I met Shirley Muldowney at a drag strip with my dad, and then from that point forward, I just want to race. I want to go racing every weekend. I just wanted to take it in as much as I can. With this like open access to the internet, I started finding like blogs and sites that really just further deepen my passion and my knowledge base. And I went to my dad and I told him, I said, I want to build this like 1917 Excelsior board tracker. Immediately, right out the gate, it didn't seem doable, right? I kept asking about these teens questions and no one really could like answer some of my questions that I had about them. And they kept telling me I needed to talk to Matt Olsen. When Matt and I sat down, he told me that they still raced these motorcycles, and immediately it was like, oh my gosh, I hope you don't have a girlfriend. I had never even witnessed one of these races. So the first antique meet that I go to where they have the races is Davenport. And Matt introduces me to Jim. Jim was a 10-time consecutive Davenport half-mile champion.
Oh, yeah, my name is Jim Ball, and I have a particular interest in an Indian motorcycle. I'm a good motorman. That's one of my specialties. The feeling of bringing something back to life, it's an accomplishment that just makes me happy. To get into the particulars of Brittney's motors, we did all kinds of things, and starting with, and that's how we did it. I think Brittney's presence and energy inspires a lot of people. They like to see her go out and race. She doesn't have to think much about it when she's doing it either, it just happens.
So my first time to fully really experience Sturgis was in 2008. So like you were in like Hollywood or you were in Las Vegas or something. Sturgis began in 1938 and it was put on by Pappy and Pearl Foyle, and they owned the local dealership here in Sturgis. Bikers and enthusiasts and AMA members from around the United States were just packing in to Sturgis, South Dakota. And then it just morphed into what it is today. But it all started right here, this historical Sturgis half mile. Fast forward 2015, the city had just announced they're going to take out the half mile racetrack and they're gonna build on it. And it really made me think, if I don't do something about this, pretty much our entire racing team's mission statement is on the line. We have to preserve this American motorcycle racing history because this is all the state of South Dakota really has for world famous motorcycle racing history. When you get out onto this line, I get goosebumps right now. It's not like anything you've ever experienced because you know that Ed Kretz came to this line. You know that Bobby Hill and Bill Tooman and just the greatest of the greats, Chris Carr, they all came to this line. Springer, Parker, they all raced on that same line you're starting on. With this racetrack creating such a world-renowned motorcycle event and it all blossoming out of this facility, I believe it should be honored and preserved as a historical landmark. I'm Brittney Olsen, wife, mother, and antique motorcycle racing champion and preservationist.